Welcome to the show. This is Mike with Door and Lock Tips. We're going to be talking about a custom aluminum pinning stand you can get from Amazon for just around 30 bucks. Let's get into the show. You're going to love it. Now, a pinning stand could be as little as just setting maybe one of your cylinders on your desk. You can put it inside of a pinning tray, or you could go down to Amazon. You buy a vise for hobby work, and you can put your cylinder inside the vise. This is made out of aluminum. I'm going to put the links down in the description. You are going to love this thing. It was 30 bucks, $30 worth of heaven, and we're going to get a close look at it. Look at how cool this thing is. I even like the colors. It's anodized red and silver. I put some screws in to fill the holes just so my pins wouldn't drop down in the holes that they've provided, so that you can add things to these vices. Want to screw things in, I just put some short screws, covered up the hole, so when I pin up a cylinder and I drop a pin, because it's inevitable you're going to do that, especially with these best cylinders, the pins won't get buried down in one of those holes, and I can easily get it out. Highly suggest a nice pinning vise for 30 bucks. That's so cheap. $8, not very good, guys. I mean, it works. It's funky. It's made out of aluminum too, but it's all hollow and just not that great. This beauty. I mean, it even looks cool. Turns so easy. I really like it. You're not going to crush anything. There's a slot in it. It allows me to pin up best small format IC cores with ease. I'm going to pin up this 7-pin. I've already got the tray full of the pins, which is very time consuming. And you wouldn't want to tip your cylinder because you set it in a stand. Maybe, I don't know. I have these rubber stands. These are cool too, by the way. I do love them. So let's just stick one in here. Well, see, they don't want to stick down in there. I have bigger ones. See this. Now that sticks right down in there. That's pretty cool. And these are 4 jacks, floor jacks. You set that on the top of the floor jack. You pump it up underneath your car, and there's a little lip on the edge of your car, and that lip goes in these slots, and they make for a great pinning vise. But I want to show you the aluminum one. This is going to be like the best for $30. You go to try to buy something to hold your cylinders, and we're talking hundreds of bucks. Chinese engineering at its finest. I really love it. Let's get a close look. You know, I never thought there'd be such trouble trying to find a tool to hold my cylinders. I have searched for almost 3 weeks to come up with a nice setup to hold my cylinders. And I think I found it in this beauty. You can use rubber, and these are great too. The slots are perfect. I mean, look at that. This is beautiful. Kind of heavy. Very nice. You can hold pretty much any cylinder you want. Rubber stands, but this is really cool looking. I like the red. I'll show you exactly how it works, and we'll kind of take another view of it from on top. How about that? Yeah. Zooming in, we get to take a look at the most killer vise in town. I do love it. It's lightweight, all aluminum, super engineered. So you can tighten it up on your cylinder very lightly. It has a slot in it right there. So let's get a real good look at it. So I take my cylinder and I can straighten the cylinder out. Let's say we're really going to just pin this thing up. You have to have the keyway straight up and down. And you have to have all these holes completely open. I take my ejector tool and I slide the sidebar all the way out. You got to have this all the way out. You got to do all this in preparation to putting the pins in. You want to see all the way through. You see how I can see light underneath there. You want to have these holes in the bottom all the way through to the top. So now, if you have a vise or some kind of, maybe let's say this cheap vise here, and you don't have cutouts on either side like this has right there and there over here, you will hit the sidebar. You don't want to push this sidebar back like that. You want to have the sidebar all the way open or all the way out so that you can get the pins down in the chambers all the way down in. So even like this, I have to open up the bottom part. Let me show you what I'm doing here. These have to be completely open so that you can see all the way through to the bottom. So now I'm going to mount this inside the vise. So that I don't close that sidebar. But really, I'm just showing you how this works, because it doesn't close it. If I didn't have a slot right here, it would probably close that, or it wouldn't hold it as well. But I have plenty of clearance between the sidebar right here and the edge of the vise. Wow, that's cool. And you don't have to crank down hard, just enough to hold it. We're going to go ahead and pin this up. And here's the vise on Amazon. Look how cool this is. And you got the dimensions there. Some guys, what is he going to woodwork over it? This thing is small. It's perfect for locksmith work. And the quality is all there. That's a fact. I do love it. Every detail of it is like the pictures. Now, they're not paying me anything for to show this spinning vise, but I do love it. It's cheap. Let's see, it's $30, guys. This is a no-brainer. I'll put a link down in the description. What a great vise. I'm saying pull the trigger on it, buy it. Oh, and you even get a 5% discount right now. Don't pass it up. Like I said, they're not paying me to show off their vise, although that would be kind of nice. But they just aren't. What a great vise. So let's pin up this small format IC core right now, setting in this vise for $30. And I have an ancient A1 pinning tray, which I understand why they went out of business. Look at this. Here's the problem with this thing. You got to reach straight up. You can't be sideways grabbing your pins. The edges of the inside of the tray don't allow you to go down there and pick up a pin unless you're straight up and down, which doesn't make for good video because the end of my tweezers is always in your face. So I'm going to try to do it from side, but that's hard too. I got these little number 2s. I have to reach down in. So you see the back of my hand. Kind of a bummer, and I had surgery here. So I'm trying to get it done right for you. So let's get a nice bird's eye view of me pinning up small format IC core using a vintage A1 pinning tray and a revolutionary $30 pinning vise. I'm going to just call it a pinning vise. They call it a drill press vise. I wouldn't even want to put this on a drill press. It's just so cool. I'm liking it. Yeah. Let's begin. So this is going to be the tip of the key, and this is going to be the bow of the key. It's 7 pins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 7 chambers here. So I'm going to take from the 7 side of this pinning tray. Sounds a little backwards, but I'm going to put that all the way up right here to the bow side, and the tip side is number 1, which is the number 1 on the key. So let's just take a look at this. This would be the number 1 spot on the key. Use the tip stop when you cut a key. So this would be the first chamber, second, third, fourth, fifth, and all the way up to 7. Now, should you start pinning right here, or should you start pinning right here? So which side would you start pinning? I've got a suggestion for you. If you start pinning all the way back by the tip, you won't get some problems with this key turning sideways on you, and you can't get the pins down in there. So start all the way to the tip side, which is going to be the number 1. And these are teeny little things. And you want to put the conical end down. So that's that roundy part right there. That's where the key engages with the pin. I know you know all this, but, good refresher. And it's kind of fun to see this vise in action. So now the thing with starting out on these small cylinders is you got to push that pin all the way down. And I use, this is Best brand tool, and it's an ejector, heavy aluminum, and nice ejector tool. I just find it's kind of fun to have their tool to push their pins all the way down and seat them down in there. And that keeps everything straight if you start all the way back by the tip side. And to get into this pinning tray, you got to be right on top. Let's say I have one of these cheap pinning trays. We'll call them inexpensive pinning trays. Now, I can reach in sideways quite easily, and I don't have to be straight up and down because the sides are angled. I like this little pinning tray. That was only $8. Got it off of eBay. But let's go ahead and grab number 2. Let's just see what it was. Yeah, that's number 2. So I make sure that's nice and flat too, because what can happen is they can lay sideways in there to begin with. There's no conical ends on the remaining build-up pins. Notice how nice this is. It's not going to flip over or nothing. Alright, I'm going to just go ahead and load this up. And if I was to drop a pin, see, I can just grab it right off the side here and it won't fall down in one of the holes. Boy, that's hard to pick up out of that tray. Make sure everything's flat. You wouldn't have to push all of them down. I just so used to doing it. Well, that even makes for a nice place to restage your pin so you can grab it. If you're on top, you know, you can't put it down in the chamber easily. But if you lay it there, I can grab it, put it right back. See how that's sideways there? That pin. There, got it nice and flat. Love this aluminum. Feels good. $30. Conical end down, by the way. $30 is so inexpensive. See, I dropped a pin, but easily lay it here, restage it so I can grab it. If I could get my hands in front of the camera, you know, I would do it, but it's hard to do and I'll block the scene. That's why I'm going to have more trouble shooting video and loading up this little best cylinder than I would normally. But that makes a nice staging place for the pins. Trying to not block your view, guys. Look at that click. Now I'm on number 4, so I'm on the 4th one from the end, the tip. Right there. Man, that pin went flying. Okay, let's go ahead and take it out and just see if the stacks are all the right height. And they are so far. All add up to 23. I have not loaded anything in the first 3 chambers from the shoulder here. And the last 4 are all right on the money. Put it back in my $30 stand. I love this thing. Oh, there's where that pin went. Put it over there. Load the last of these in. It'll be the 5th one over. I like the little staging area here. all the exact same height. Okay, I'm going to put the cap on the top of this. I'll go ahead and show you how I use the ejector I custom made. I have my Lab IC Pro 150. I've already loaded my nice 7-pin small format best cylinder in there. Now I'm going to take my new spring setup and load the springs in. All the springs are down in there. My Lab IC Pro 150, really nice tool. Just like that. Yep, that's perfect. There we have it, guys. A really nice stand. You can put your cylinders right in it. Mount your cylinders with very little effort here into a really wonderful jig and pin up your cylinders. Small format IC cores. It really doesn't matter what you use. Even regular cylinders. But you're never going to load from the top anyway, like this. You're always going to pull the plug out. But if you had to, it holds it perfectly in this really nice vise for hobbyists. There you have it, guys. Please subscribe to my channel and I'll have more door and lock tips like this exceptional vise coming your way in the future. Thanks again, guys. Thanks again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the super thanks. It helps support the show. For little to nothing, I can make more videos like this. All you have to do is hit that super thanks and you'll be helping me out a lot. And I'll be able to bring you more and more of these wonderful tools that maybe you've never seen, or maybe you know about them, but you just didn't want to pull the trigger. Hit that like button, tell your friends, and I'll have more door and lock tips like this coming your way in the future. Thanks again.